Willie D Live.
What's up, family? I came across this video of Philip Scott, the owner of African Diaspora News Channel, and he was discussing this video, a viral video of a black truck driver delivering mulch in Clyde, North Carolina, that showed him being attacked by multiple white men on June 28, 2025 at TBD Dump, aka Two Bank Development LLC, a local dump site. The dudes who work at this site work at the right place, a dump site, because they're straight trash. That's right, I said it. These uncivilized mutts found it in their devilish hearts to accost this man because he arrived early to make his delivery. Has to be more to the story, right? Yeah, it is. He's black. Yeah. They took exception to him showing up early. And then they told him, because he showed up early, he needed to go to the back of the line. Before I go any further, and before I tell y'all what Philip had to say, let me just say this. The dude, I get it, he was in fear of his life. But I ain't smart enough to tell some sucker that's using racial epithets towards me and that's trying to violate me. I'm not smart enough to call him sir. He was just sir. That really pisses me off when black people get violated and they call their attacker sir or ma'am. That really runs me hot. Sir and ma'am are terms used for people you respect. Anyway, fam, Philip was saying that what we need to do is start exposing these sundown towns. Put up a list and warn everybody about these towns. Put them on blast. And also stop working in these sundown towns. Stop spending money. Stop making deliveries. I ain't got no problem with that, but some of y'all do, so let's talk about it. The uncivilized mutts of the world who wants to keep things the way that they've always been, where white folks collectively have their foot on the collective necks of black folks. They are quick to try to distance themselves from the progressive society, the rest of society, the society that's moving forward, not backwards. They are stuck like their mammies and their pappies were, like their grandpappies and grandmammies were, and great grandpappies and great mammies, grandmammies were. They're stuck. So what they do is try to carve out a little piece of a community, a township, where they can continue the old ways of America, but they can be as racist and discriminatory and violent as possible against black folks and anybody else who they deem to not be worthy of existence. Yeah, they go into these towns, these small towns, because they can get away with all kinds of stuff because there's little to no oversight. In these small towns, oftentimes the sheriff is also the school superintendent. If he's not the school superintendent, he is probably, he's working in the permits department or something. His wife is the director of the permits department. His son is a sheriff. It's one big old family of Klansmen, and they run the town like that. And there's very little that ever gets done when they violate other people who might find themselves stumbling across this old backwards ass town that they live in, right? The feds do nothing about it. Local officials do nothing about it, because oftentimes they live in those towns too, and they're part of those communities. So they do nothing about it. This is why these type of towns can exist. Can you imagine a town anywhere in America that's black and it's a sundown town for white folks? Oh, we better not catch you. Because you know, sundown mean no blacks. So imagine no whites. No blacks mean a black police officer. Even if you're a federal agent, you better not be caught around there after the sun go down. So sundown means nobody of whatever that particular ethnicity is that you are targeting. Means you can't have one of them show up in your town, and if they do, you pretty much get to do what you want to do, because after all, it's a sundown town. No, it's not explicitly written on some big billboard. Don't come around here, nigger. Don't come around here after 7. You know, they're not gonna say it. They don't have to say it like that anymore. It's coded now, right? It's held up in coded language now. It's done with over-policing, right? Profiling, right? It's done by discriminating in housing, right? That's how they do it now. That's how they do it now. That's how they get away with it now. Because the government is complicit in it. That's the only way. And let me tell you something. It ain't like they really bad. They ain't really bad. They ain't bad as they try to act like they are. They're not as tough as they act like they are. They only strike when they have clear-cut advantages. Size, weaponry, or numbers. Size, weaponry, or numbers. That's the only time they strike. And these sundown towns, they got the numbers. And they also got the backing of local officials and police, because they want things to be the way that they are. They like it like that. That's why they don't do anything about it. Anything that they got a problem with, they address. You understand what I'm saying? So don't just think that these are just some cavemen and women who are behaving this way, and they're doing this, and they're in some small town, you know, operating on their own devices. Don't think that they're operating with full autonomy and nobody with real power is involved. No, it's the people that are in real power that keeps these sundown towns alive and well. They are, if you look at their setup, their cops are part of it, their judges are part of it, their school teachers are a part of it, where they go to get medicine, the hospitals are part of it, the schools, everything, all of it, everything that it takes to run a community is part of it. All of these major establishments, they're all part of it, and all of them have people at the top who allows these things to happen. Most sundown towns don't put up signs or openly advertise their exclusion. They operate through unwritten rules, hostile attitudes, and systemic barriers like discriminatory policing or housing practices. That's how they get down today. Local control trumps accountability. So who's ever in control locally, if they're part of the plan, if they're part of that behavior, then you better believe that there will not be any accountability when they violate people. And that's what happens in these sundown towns. It's like, oh, well, I mean, they really do look forward to violating people who stumble across their town. They look forward to it. There's no enforcement of anti-racism at the local level whatsoever. So how do we deal with these uncivilized mutts? Buddy in the video, the truck driver, he alluded to making them pay. I'm assuming that he's going to file a lawsuit. That's what he has to do. There has to be public pressure. There has to be some civilized people attacking the uncivilized mutts, exposing these uncivilized mutts. That's what has to happen. There has to be some pressure from the outside of that uncivilized community. Unless someone sues or files a federal complaint, many of these uncivilized communities will fly under the radar. They'll continue to fly under the radar. So Buddy got the right idea. That's how you put pressure on them. You gotta sue them, because guess what? They're using federal and state funds to maintain their streets, their lights, their sewage. They're using state and federal funds that are paid by people who they don't like, who they will try to harm if they venture off into their community, if they turn on the wrong street. So if you uncivilized mutts want to be to yourself, be totally 100% self-sufficient and independent. Don't use these hospitals that are federally funded. Do not use the schools. Do not use any of the municipal services. None of that. And also, create your own jobs. The biggest problem with these sundown towns are not even the town, it's the people. The people who will elect to go out and work in other areas where that type of behavior is not so prominent, it's not so pervasive. So they'll go work at the hospital, they'll go work at a large convenience store where anybody of any race might decide to come in and shop, where anybody of any race might come in for medical services, right? They'll work at your local DMV or whatever, right? And they'll practice their discrimination and their hatred to someone that's not prepared, don't know nothing about their background and their living conditions, where these uncivilized mutts have built an entire community where they tell others that they're not welcome. You can't drive down this street. You can't come to this park. You can't stop at this store. You can't live in this house. That's the problem. On a personal note, I wouldn't want to be around those uncivilized mutts anyway. Their neighborhood look nasty, their children look nasty, and they look nasty. No more talk.